To understand the Surya Siddhanta, we have to see it in context with the fifth canto. We have to connect the micro-universe with the macro-universe, and not seeing it through the Western cosmology. We're seeing it through the eyes of the fifth canto. Again, I'm using the Satkona. The Satkona has been known by all cultures of the earth as a ways and means for understanding space. This is where all the Vedic, Egyptian, Roman, Greek, Mayan geometry comes from. It's coming from the Satkona. So this is the Vedic universe on the Satkona. You have the Brahman, the cosmic egg. You have Bhumandala disk. This is 4 billion miles across. You have the Lokaloka mountain. You have the Manasatara mountain. The Garbha ocean, because the Bhumandala disk is floating in the Garbha ocean within the cosmic egg. And then below we have Vishnu Lakshmi resting on Lord Ananta. The universal shell is covered by the 8 universal elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego. So that is the Vedic universe looking side on. Now what we can do, actually this is Korma, the transcendental tortoise. So now we're looking down at Bhumandala, this being the Lokaloka mountain. But the transcendental tortoise rests on the head of a cosmic serpent, Lord Ananta. So this is the Bhumandala disk from above. You have 4 billion miles across. This is the Lokaloka mountain. You have Meru in the center. You have the Manasatara mountain. This is 252 million miles wide. This is 2 billion miles wide. Clearwater Ocean, Golden Land, Lokaloka, and this is a Lokavarsha. The light of the sun, which is rotating here above the Manasatara mountain, does not go past the Lokaloka mountain. Does not go past the Lokaloka mountain. So this is Bhumandala above, resting on the head of a snake. The lotus flower coming from the navel of Vishnu. So now we're going to the Manasatara mountain. We're going here. Again, using the Satkona, this is the Kala Chakra, 12 zodiac signs, 30 degree rasis, and you have the 15 degree horrors, basically an hour. That's where the word hour comes from. And the Kala wheel is rotating above the Manasatara mountain. It's the wheel of Surya's chariot. You have the Uttarayan, you have the Dakshinayan, you have the equator, which is essentially the Manasatara mountain. And the sun is moving clockwise. The whole thing's moving clockwise. The only thing independent from it is the Navagraha, the 9 planets. And the earth is not considered Graha in the Vedic system. The Kala Chakra is moving above the earth, above here. Above here, the Kala Chakra is orbiting here. The sun is moving here above the Manasatara mountain. The movements of the sun is explained in the 5th canto, chapter 21, explaining the Uttarayan, the Dakshinayan, this northern southern path of the sun, this inner and outer movement as the sun moves through the Kala Chakra. Everything's moving clockwise. The sun and the Kala Chakra is slightly out of sync, so it gives this impression of the sun moving back through the signs. This is how a year is created. All based on the Kala wheel. And again, all coming from the Satkona. We can create all the divisions from the Satkona, which is essentially the Sudarshan Chakra, Krishna's disc, the disc of Hari. So now we're going to go to the center of the disc. We're going to this center, which is Meru and Jambudvip. Again, I'm using the Satkona to create all the divisions, to create the mountains, to create Meru. It's all contained in the Satkona. They're the 4 rivers. So Mo in the center, this is Jambudweep, 100,000 yojanas wide. Bharatvarsha is, so Bharatvarsha spans 80,000 yojana by 10,000 yojana. It's on the southern tip of Jambudweep, bow-shaped, and these 9 islands are within saltwater ocean. They're not balls flying through the space or flying through the sky, they're actually islands in saltwater ocean. So now we're going to Bharatkanda, which is our Earth, which is where the Surya Siddhanta comes in. The Surya Siddhanta, the same, is explained in 60 seconds. This is 128 in the Surya Siddhanta. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, and that all lines up with the degrees of the rasis, and that all lines up with, you know, you've got the Satkona creating the 60, the 6. You've got the Satkona creates time. It's the whole basis of the Kala wheel. So Ahara is an hour. So every hour, every 2 hours, the Kala chakra rotates through a sign, Rasi. So every hour we have the Kala chakra rotating through a zodiac sign, 30 degrees. So here, footnote, this is from Bhakti Siddhanta. Roughly speaking, we can take this as a circle, which that's what the Kala wheel is. It's a circle. We're dealing with a Bhu Mandala universe. We're dealing with the Earth circle universe that resembles a lotus flower. It all comes from the lotus flower. So in the Surya Siddhanta 159, the Earth diameter is explained, Bhukana. It's at 1600 yojanas. Bhaktisiddhanta tells us to use 8 miles per yojana, and we have to stick to that because all the calculations for calculating the movements of the graha is based on these numbers. We can't change the yojana, we can't change the diameter of the Earth to make it fit the Western understanding. We have to keep it to the 8 yojana. The 5th canto is all based on the 8 miles per yojana. And all the calculations will be messed up if we change this number. So the diameter being 12,800 miles, square root of 10 is 3.16, which is essentially pi. Circumference in miles, 40,000 miles. Circumference in yojana, 570 miles, which is shown here. Circumference of the Earth, 5,070 yojanas. So this is what the Surya Siddhanta is explaining. It's showing a circular Earth at 40,000 miles within saltwater ocean on the southern tip of Jambudweep. It has the Kala chakra moving above with a central pivot. This is your 40,000 mile yojana. And the Kala chakra, from our relative position, is creating what's known as the celestial sphere, not a sphere floating in space. The celestial sphere is a product of the Kala chakra. And we can see as the sun is moving around, as the moon is moving around, and all the stars are moving around, how it presents from our relative position. So now we're just moving into night, and this is day. So this will be the night on this side, this is the day on this side. All moving around a central pivot. It's the Kala chakra that's spinning, so it's this that's spinning, the Kala chakra above the Earth. Moving around a central pivot, and simply from our relative position, we see, so the Kala chakra is moving around, and it's presenting to us from our own particular longitude and latitude. I've got this set to India, we can set this to anywhere on Earth, how the Kala chakra presents and it comes over as an arc from our relative position. That's what's understood as the celestial sphere. It has nothing to do with the globe floating in space. The celestial sphere is a product of the Kala chakra. which is really important, because if we see in the movements of the sun, the 5th canto, the sky, this is 5.21.2, the sky between the earthly sphere and heavenly sphere is called the antarikasha, or outer space, intermediate space. It adjoins the top of the sphere of earth with the bottom of the sphere of heaven. So there is no sphere of heaven, it's a Kala chakra, it's a Kala wheel. So the Kala chakra is connected through the ether, through the antarikasha, and it's presenting locally to each of the varshas. And as the Kala chakra moves around, it presents to us from our relative position, depending on our longitude and latitude, as it gets explained as a celestial sphere. But it isn't a sphere floating in space like we're told with mainstream cosmology. The celestial sphere is a product of the Kala chakra. The sky is connected through the antarikasha. And we also have 5.21.8 and 9. People living in countries at points diametrically opposed to where the sun is first seen rising will see the sun setting. And if a straight line were drawn from the point where the sun is at midday, the people in countries at the opposite end of the line would be experiencing midnight. Similarly, if people residing where the sun is setting were to go to countries diametrically opposed, you can only diametrically oppose that on a circle, they would not see the sun in the same condition. So this is this. This side is light, this side is dark. So here in India at night, you'd have the stars coming over. In the day, you have the sun coming over. So the countries that are diametrically opposed, nighttime here, daylight here. And obviously the same the other way. So you have daytime here, you have nighttime here. So this is actually what the Surya Siddhanta is explaining. Our Earth is a series of islands on the southern tip of Jambudweep. This is one of those islands. There is a central pivot, the North Pole, and the Kala chakra is rotating above. It's just from our position and how the Surya Siddhanta explains it, it's explained as a celestial sphere. Because what we see, we're down here below, we see the sun coming around and presenting in the celestial sphere and going over. But the celestial sphere can be moved from all the different latitudes and longitudes, can be seen from all the different longitudes and latitudes. So this idea that the Surya Siddhanta is actually explaining a globe floating in space is nonsense. It's a complete myth. What's going on? The Earth is islands within saltwater ocean. There is a central pivot, and the Kala chakra is presented at that pivot. So the Surya Siddhanta is explaining a fixed geostationary Earth with a central pivot, the North Pole, the Kala chakra moving above, and the celestial sphere that we see from our position is a creation of the Kala chakra. It simply is the sun and moon and all the stars are moving around, how it's presented to us on Earth. Again, it's all geometry, which can be shown and proven with all the maths in the Surya Siddhanta. This model is using that, but it's the Kala chakra that's moving, which again is explained in the 5th canto. It's connected through the antarikasha. The Kala chakra is connected. You know, if people residing where the sun is setting were to go to countries diametrically opposed, they would not see the sun in the same condition. So that's valid everywhere. If you're here, this is the proper understanding. It can be proven with the maths. It can be modelled. It can be shown. And this way we're completely following the Shastra. This idea that the Earth is floating in space and that the Surya Siddhanta corroborates the Western model is nonsense. The Earth is fixed and immovable. It's islands within saltwater ocean, 40,000 mile circumference, the landmass. Central pivot, Kala chakra moving above, and the celestial sphere is a creation of the Kala chakra. It's simply just how we see it from our perspective. It comes over in arcs. Because we have to experience the duality, we have to experience the day and the night. No earth ball spinning, floating, flying through space. It's all fixed. From the earth perspective, it's the celestials that are moving. So all this can be modelled, all this can be shown, all using the Surya Siddhanta maths. But it's a complete myth that the Surya Siddhanta corroborates the Western model, because it doesn't at all. And if it's understood this way, we have a complete working model. All the way from Bhumandala, the Manasatara, down. Bhumandala means earth circle. It's an earth circle system that resembles a lotus flower.